So it's time to review Black Christmas, and with that in mind, I have my ugly Christmas jumper on because we have to be thematic, but unfortunately, this movie was not as thematic as my jumper. So Black Christmas is directed by Sophia Takal and stars a group of young female students who are stalked by a stranger during their Christmas break. That is until the young sorority pledges discover that the killer is part of an underground college conspiracy. So I didn't exactly go into Black Christmas with a lot of high expectations. I went into it expecting a fun horror slasher flick from Blumhouse, who I absolutely love. I love Blumhouse, I love the production model that they have, I love the movies that they typically bring out. Every now and then you get, a dodgy one, but for the most part they produce quality fun entertainment. While they may not be the best movies, they are fun movies. And that's what I was hoping for with Black Christmas, but unfortunately this movie came across as very confused to me, and it kind of came across as a bit dull and a bit flat. The performances in this movie are pretty typical what you would expect. The only actress I was really familiar with going into this was Imogen Poots, and she was okay, as was the rest of the cast. I mean, they don't exactly have great material to work with, and I think that, they did a fine job for what this movie required them to do. It wasn't exactly, anything noteworthy. They were fine, they did their jobs well, and as well enough as they could have done. My issue with Black Christmas majorly is that this film has a major pacing problem. I think this film has a way too long of a time to actually get going. It felt like this massive introduction took up so much time in the movie that it was just not necessary. For a film like this, yeah, you need a tiny bit of setup, but nowhere near as much setup as this movie gives you. Like, you go into this movie, about an hour in before you actually get anything happening. It's kind of crazy. You go through this entire arc of the first act of the movie, and nothing related to the movie has actually happened, if that makes sense. None of the murderings happened. You get one murder right at the beginning, and that's literally it, and for about 40 minutes to an hour in. And I think that's kind of crazy. And I think that the pacing overall leads to a lot of really boring moments throughout the film. There are many times where I was checking my watch and I was also just thinking, this is going really slowly, I'm not particularly entertained here, I feel like that this film is just not doing anything engaging, and I feel like that Black Christmas overall has a really staggered pacing where sometimes it's okay and sometimes you can keep up with it, other times it just really slags. Slogs. I should have said slogs there, not slags. I don't know why I said that. Should have said slogs. Let's move on. And I think a big thing that a lot of people are going to bring up in their reviews of this film is the social messages that are sort of plaguing this movie. And the social messages are incredibly weird in this, because while I don't have an issue with movies trying to tackle social issues like this, the way this film does it, it's very confusing to me because I can't quite tell if they're trying to be over the top or if they're trying to take this deadly serious. And it's a weird mix. I don't know what the direction was here. I don't know if they were trying to make it as over the top as possible, or if they were trying to, or if this was them in their attempt to make it as serious as possible, because they are so serious in this movie. Again, it kind of blurs the line between whether they were joking and kind of taking the mick out of a certain group, or if they were trying to actually be a part of it. I couldn't quite tell, and it's kind of ridiculous when this movie actually, in theory, is more about its social messages than it is about being a horror movie. It more feels like the horror movie takes a back seat to this kind of, social impact movie. It's very strange to me, and the film never feels like it's quite sure what it wants to be. It almost feels like they took the name of Black Christmas from the original 70s and 2000s films and used that to apply it to this film that they had an idea for, and they just added the horror elements in just to make it, more of an appealing film for wider audiences, because I don't know what this film is exactly going for. And the issues that they tackle, while they are important, and I think that there are room for these issues to be tackled, I just don't think this was the movie for it. I don't think this was the film that you tackle those issues in. People aren't going to Black Christmas to kind of deal with social issues. We just want to see a fun slasher flick. That's what I thought I was getting. That's what I thought I was going to get with Blumhouse. But this movie's not that. Again, this movie is more focused on its social issues than it actually is being a horror movie. And that, I think, is kind of where the movie is missold slightly. Overall, Black Christmas, I'm not going to say I was disappointed with the movie, but I was going to say that I am underwhelmed. I think that this film, again, I went into it expecting it to be a fun Blumhouse film, but it was just way too bogged down by the social issues that it wanted to address in, again, an either really serious way or a really over-the-top way, and I still don't know which way it was. But I feel like Black Christmas, again, if you know what it is going into it, obviously you're not going to be as disappointed. I mean, I thought that this film was going to be a typical Blumhouse affair, and it actually wasn't that. It was worse than most of those. And I think that this film, again, it's not even dumb fun. Like, this film is quite boring and slow at times, and the pacing is very sluggish, that I feel like the film is not as entertaining as it should have been. So for me, Black Christmas, I didn't really enjoy it anywhere near as much as I'd hoped I would. So have you guys seen Black Christmas? If you have, make sure to let me know all your thoughts about it in the comment section down below. Did you like it? Did you hate it? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. And as always, if you want to see more movie reviews and movie related videos just like this one, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss an upload from me. And I hope to see you guys again in my next video.